There you go.
There we go.
Drink faster.
Hey, guys. I know, right? Just trying to get a drink in. NASCAR man, thank you for being first in today. Johnny Kajun Roots Resell, glad to have you, buddy. Cernock, Tim sent us. Thank you, guys, man. I was checking out y'all's haul from the Mr. Buys a Lot spree. So that was awesome. Yeah, for sure. Dan, all right, man. Thank you for it. Great deal. And Joe Deals. Thanks for coming. Treasure Retriever. Jersey Shore, man. Hopefully we'll keep that hurricane off the East Coast. I'm a little further south. So
yeah,
we're definitely hoping. Michelle, thanks for being here. It's funny, I've seen a lot of you guys in Tim's live earlier. Right. So appreciate y'all for coming over.
All right.
Yep, Sean in. Miss Janet, thanks for coming by. Rebel Junk, thanks for being here. There you go. Sam always keeping me straight on names.
Yeah, I'm Aaron, just trying to. I don't know why I'm typing everybody out. I'm like, it's kind of redundant. Like you're saying hi to everybody. I guess I acknowledge you guys both ways.
Nikki T.
Nikki T. I never did get that s'more action. Here. She posted a picture about s'mores the other day. Made me want to get s'mores, and I totally forgot to get stuff. Need to get on that after this. And
for sure. Lenny, thanks for coming in, man. Great to have you here. Louis, thanks for coming on. Heard our s'mores.
Yeah.
So, guys, we're doing some stuff a little different tonight. You know, I told you last week that we were going to have a surprise, and me and Sam have been working behind the scenes on trying to get more people involved in the community and this show. Honestly, we only have one show a week, and we've really tried to focus on bringing people to our community, bringing people that normally either we may not even know, people from the outside or people that bring value. That's what we've been doing over the past few weeks. So trying to just introduce more people to the people that we know and love, and just bring value to you guys, hopefully help you with the reselling business. So we were talking about what can we do to get more people involved in our show and support our guys that are here, that have been with us and helped us all on our journey. So we've actually decided to start doing the last Friday of every month, a thing we call Rapid Fire, and try to get anywhere from 4 to 6 people on, and we're going to bring them on individually so we can really devote a portion of time just to them, and let you guys learn a little bit more about them if you don't already know, and see what kind of value they have to offer. So over the foreseeable future, last Friday nights of the month, what we're going to ask you guys to do is, if you'd like to be a part of this and you've got some value that you want to bring and share with the community and use this forum to do so, we encourage you guys to reach out to us, either myself or Sam on Instagram, and say, hey, I want to be a part, and we will line you up for the coming months and get you in with that. So we do thank all you guys for being here, being a part of that. And so tonight we're going to bring in our first guest, and it's someone who, honestly, I can say this person, my very first live, and also some of my early videos, she was here supporting me from the beginning. So she's somebody that definitely wanted to reach out and show her a little love tonight. So we're going to bring in Trish. You guys probably know her all too well as Miss Dana Tink. So
hey, everybody.
Thank you for being in here.
Hey. How you doing, everybody? Good to see you. Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Happy to have you. Thanks for coming on.
All right. It is our pleasure to have you here. Like I said, Nana, you've been with me since the beginning of my YouTube start. So
I've been watching you and Sam a long time. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. So we wanted to bring you and feature you for a little while tonight. Sam has dropped her link in the channel. So for some reason you're not subscribing, I did want to mention that to you guys as well. YouTube does funny things, and occasionally it'll drop you off of the subscription or disconnect the bell some kind of way. So if you think you're subscribed, you may not be. So make sure you go back and check that. Make sure that isn't red anymore when you see her name, and go ahead and hit that bell for all notification. I know that would be helpful for her as well. So we're going to get into Sam. I know we've got some questions for Nana tonight. So if you want to start with that'd be awesome.
So I guess for the folks that don't know you, got all 29 of you that are in here. If you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up for Nana Tink. And definitely go make sure that subscribe button is not red anymore. It's gray. But first and foremost, go ahead and just tell us, Nana, what I call you. I drift between, like, on YouTube, I call you Nana, but like off YouTube, I call you Trish. But what do you?
Yeah, either way works. Either way works.
So tell us what you sell and where you sell it.
Sure. I'm a full-time seller. I've been full-time for a long time, but I basically sell eBay. I've done eBay almost 20 years, although there was a time in between where I didn't do it at all. But I came back to it, and I love it. I've always loved selling. I do Mercari. I don't have enough listings on Mercari. I need to get more on Mercari. I've never tried Posh, nor do I want to. Seems like too much work for me. I know there's a lot of people out there that love it and can do it. And I just don't think I could do that. But I do love the eBay. And I think it's what you get used to at first is what you kind of stick to. And since I've done eBay from the beginning, even though I stopped a while, I automatically went right back to eBay. And truthfully, I didn't even realize till I started getting online and watching YouTube, there were so many other platforms to sell on. I didn't even know that.
So what do you primarily like to sell, and over the years that you've kind of drifted towards?
I do enjoy glassware. I like glassware. That's one of my favorites, but I do sell anything. Recently, I've been doing house cleanouts, estate sales. So I've been getting a lot of stuff, a lot of good stuff, and really getting into this ephemera that I have. And a lot of stuff in the chat know that I've been giving it away because I have so much. And I just want to tell you all, some of the stuff is pretty good. I just today, and I'll post that on Instagram when probably tomorrow, I sold a book that I got from this ephemera stuff. I got it for free. And I just sold it today, took a best offer, $45.
Gosh.
This one book. So ephemera really could be something. I found this Disney banner. It's 6 foot by 1 foot. It's almost could go across the wall. And there was one listing that I found. The listing original price they have for it was $5,000. Theirs is damaged. Mine is brand new. Mine is still in the original mailing container. It's right over there it's never been out of the container, brand new.
What?
They have dropped their price down to $2,000 and something. I listed mine for $3,000. I'm gonna see what happens. Who knows?
Let her ride. Why not?
It's brand new. It's Disney. It's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Goodness, that's awesome.
Never been touched, never been opened. So yeah, ephemera can be pretty good find, especially if you go to a state or clean out at a house and you find it. You're doing good. So I'm excited. I don't know. It was free to me. If I got $10, I'll be happy.
Do you know like a realtor or something?
No, I do not. No, it's just by chance of people I know. The first one was my friend. She actually was cleaning their house. It was an older couple, and the gentleman had died, and the woman couldn't take care of herself. So they actually had an auction, and we went to the auction. And after the auction, then he was mentioning the son that he needed somebody to clean out the house. And my grandson actually was doing that with a friend. So I got my grandson and the two of us, then cleaned the house.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah, boy, you talk about stuff.
Yeah.
And just recently it happened again. My girlfriend was taking care of an elderly woman, and she just passed away. And her aunt asked her to come and go through the house. So that's what we've been doing all last week. You cannot believe some of the stuff I found. It just,
Yeah.
I'll be doing a video. It just blows my, and it's all free. It's free to us.
That's
so just,
awesome.
It's just by chance, just being lucky, right place at the right time.
I mean, and it goes to show too the relationships that you've created. I mean, I don't think it was just luck. You had a good relationship with somebody who kind of led you there.
Well, yeah, my friend. I mean, I've known her forever, but that's why I sell pretty much anything and everything, and I'm not going to say no to anything if I don't know what it is, which I did. We actually did have something here. It's some type of a musical instrument, and it looks like a harp, but it's not, and it's I don't know what it is because I don't know musical instruments. I should show it to you. Sam.
Looks like a harp.
Yeah, it's kind of like a shape like a, but it's in a box.
It's got a bajillion strings on it.
Yeah, a lot of strings.
Does it have like little two like wooden sticks that come with it?
I don't know because I didn't pull it out. I just opened the top of it and looked, and I went, "Oh my goodness!" Yeah, that's nice.
If it looks like kind of like almost like a piano with a bunch of strings across it, and if you find like two, they're like wooden paddles. They're really like. They're like on these long sticks with the end, and you just basically hit the strings, almost like you were the piano. So it's a dulcimer, is what Block Fan says. Yeah.
Well, there was some paperwork. I saw the paperwork kind of stuck behind it. I didn't pull it out yet, so it might be on there. The name too of what it is. I don't know, but if it's not, I'll show you a picture of it to look. It needs cleaned up, but boy, I don't even know what that would be worth.
Yeah. I mean, definitely, or if not, Google Lens it.
Yeah, but there you go. There's an example of some of the stuff I sell. I'll even sell stuff I don't know about, and that I know is one of the questions I was thinking about. One of the things I've found as far as what I'm learning is the research that you got to do. Don't turn something away or don't think you don't want to sell it because you don't know about it. Back in the day, there wasn't capability to do the research, so you had to let stuff go. Well, now. Get to know so many people in this community, plus, of course, Google, you can find almost anything and learn about it.
For sure.
Yeah.
It is crazy. I mean, that kind of leads into what we were talking about, too. Well, first of all, today I was at an estate sale, and I thought of you because the guy's like, look at these stack of papers right here. And he said, these are local papers, and they're from when Kennedy got shot. And it's in there. There's a stack of them where they're doing all these stories. I was like, man, that's cool. Like, I was I know those things that never know. I had a yard sale last weekend and sold a picture of a class of airmen that came through the academy. And it was from late, black and white photo, and somebody came by and bought it. They're like, hey, I'm a former airman. I like that stuff. They took it home. So
see, that's the thing. There's so many people out there.
So what are some other things that you've learned?
Well, you speaking of that Kennedy, I actually have in this ephemera a whole folder full of Life magazine of when that happened, and different newspapers also from when that happened, and a lot of aerospace stuff. And that's actually one of the books that sold was from Gemini back in 1960. So a lot of that I think is selling right now. I think that's a good sell right now. But I would sell almost anything. Just search and look, and
That's right.
Nana, would you shoot me a picture of the harp-looking thing? Okay, sure.
Debbie's willing to help you out.
Burns yeah. She might be.
Yeah,
there's
definitely
lots of people
will.
In here that I know all about that stuff as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know nothing.
So, what are some other things that you've learned about reselling along the way?
That I've learned about reselling? Well, one thing I've learned the hard way, I think, is to be organized. Because I didn't sell as much before, so I never really worried about being organized. Well, let me tell you what. When I first started coming back, I searched and searched and searched a couple of times because I sold something and I had no clue where it was. I've learned to be really organized now. I have totes, I have marks, I use the coding on eBay store. I'm sure everybody knows about that. And that way I know, okay, this is where it's at. Because even I had that one guy once, I had a game or a game it was. And He bought it, and I looked and I looked and I looked and I looked, and I could not find that anywhere. And I thought, well, maybe I already sold it once. You know, sometimes that happens, and eBay just relisted it. So I told the guy that I was sorry, couldn't find it, returned all his money and everything. And I said, if I do happen to run across it, I'll just mail it to you for free. And I actually did a video on that. Well, lo and behold, my grandson, I forgot we had done a storage unit sale at his storage unit, and I took it there to sell, and it didn't sell. When I went back to help him clean up, there it was. So I mailed it to the guy. I did. I mailed it because it's the right thing to do.
Stay organized.
But stay organized. You got to be organized, or you're going to be in a lot of trouble if you're not organized. That's one of the things.
My wife just put my name in the chat when you said that about getting organized. My wife just stuck my name in the chat. She's like, with an exclamation point.
You better get it.
No.
It's really hard, and that's like just doing this house clean out. I mean, I've had carload. I had 2 carloads full so far, and I had my son come over yesterday and my grandson, and all they do is just take it out of the car and take it to the basement where all my inventory's at. So I went down today, and I'm like, oh,
right,
yeah. I mean, I literally am going to have to spend like 2 days just getting that stuff organized.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, but it's worth it in the long run if you do the work ahead of time. In the long run, it's definitely pays off because then it's quicker. You know, you go right to it, you get it shipped real quick. So it's better.
What are your plans? Because I know you've kind of had that 20-year relationship with reselling, and then coming back to it. Where do you kind of see your journey with it now? Yeah,
that's kind of a hard question for me because I'm, pretty old. I am old. So, it's like.
Can I interrupt you for a second? Can I interrupt you for 2 seconds? Here's my thought on age. Mark Twain had a saying, age is mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter.
It don't matter.
And also remember, the founder of Grey Goose did not find Grey Goose until he was like 65. So for anybody who's like worried about time.
And who like Grey Goose?
Just saying. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. And it's not that I'm like I am, but I am older. So my point is that when you guys a lot of you out there are doing this here to raise your family. You need to do that to raise your family. You need to, this could be your full-time job and you've got to hustle and do that. Well, see, I'm not in that boat. I'm in that boat way ahead of you already. So that's kind of my point, that I really don't have to worry about it. So if I'm around, and I hope I am, maybe say another 10 years, that'll be awesome. And if I'm as, I'm fat, but if I'm, kind of healthy and doing this is, I'm at where I want to be. I don't want to grow much more because I'm busy enough right now with doing that and doing this YouTube stuff. So my goal for the future is just status quo.
And that's okay too, though,
because I'm happy. I mean, I'm retired. Yeah. This is my life. I've already done everything. I mean, I bust my butt for how many years outside working for the man, So this is my fun time now. So it's a little bit different for me than a lot of you where this is a necessity. I mean, you're raising your family. This is your full-time job, and God bless you all for doing that. I don't know that I could have done it when I needed to 40 years ago,
I think you touched on a very important, life characteristic, though, happiness, and kind of operating at your level, because I think there's so many folks, especially myself, you see the scale that some people operate at and some of the stuff that they find and the things that they're selling. It's hard not to want to compete, especially myself, I'm like, oh, I want to go get all. Yeah.
But it's really what comes from inside.
I think well, I know for myself, like watching your stuff since you've started coming out with some YouTube content. There's so much knowledge there from all the reselling that you have done. Lady Luck Junk says, Nana loving us resellers with their knowledge bombs, and that is true. You know, me and Sam, we kind of pal around a lot of times in chats. Like we'll be like, "Hey, come and check this out" or whatever. And there's been times when you first started doing YouTube that I was like, "Man, all of a sudden this knowledge bomb comes out of nowhere." You're typing in, and I'm like, "Man," I said, that's the thing I know for a lot of us, especially as newer resellers, because there's a lot I see in the chat that are kind of just getting started. I was like, check her stuff out and go, because there is a lot of knowledge there when it comes to like, the categories she's talking about. And honestly, watching you too, like just what you were saying earlier, I'm willing to take a chance on stuff I don't even know. That's a huge tip for some of your resellers. Now, I mean, obviously don't spin your whole boat on things you don't know, but being willing to branch out is going to make you better down the road for sure.
That's right. And don't be afraid if you don't know something to ask somebody in this community, because I mean, there's so much that I don't know, and I've gotten information from other people, you know. Don't be afraid. Just ask. And I'm willing to help anybody anytime. Reach out to me. I don't mind at all. Whatever I can help, I'm there.
Yeah. And that's what's nice, you know, if we can shortcut that knowledge, that's great. So that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
So being the reseller rapid fire roundtable, I think I got the R's mixed up, but being the fastest. So I want to kind of wind down a little bit by saying, you know, the reason why I asked you, and I know you touched on this, and I know a lot of folks kind of use this, not so much as an excuse. I know it is a limitation, but age. And the thing I admired you from the get-go, Trish, is watching you develop your YouTube channel and watch you grow. I know you've heard me tout about it before, right? But I see you in the Daryl Eves, like the Facebook groups, the live stream. She's a learning, y'all. So for anybody who's hesitant about, you know, YouTube, as long as you're willing to put in that, you know, the mental equity, the time and the effort, you can learn, and I'm sure that, you know, that helps keeps things fresh for you, right? I don't know, could be speaking for you.
You hit that nail right on the head, because I mean, and as you get up, I don't want to use that excuse all the time, but it is true. The older you get, the harder things are, and because I can tell you, I did computer. That was my job. You know, over 20 years I put in, and learning YouTube was a challenge for me. But I buckled down. I watched a lot of videos. I read a lot and done a lot of different things, and you can do it. It just takes the time, and you got to want to put in the time to learn it. But if you don't do it, you won't get it. And I just keep going and going. That's all I can do. And I thank you. Thank you.
And I respect the crap out of you for that, Nana. So
thank you.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, I definitely feel that, like, for me, it is inspiration when you think of, because I know myself what the work is behind YouTube.
Yeah.
And for it to see you keep pushing, and it's inspiring to myself, because I could throw up my hands and stuff.
Yeah, that's the easy way out.
But hey, if we improve, like Sam always says, 1% at a time. Yep. 1% at a time. If you can do a little bit better each day, then eventually you're going to turn around and look at your journey and be like, look how much further down the road I am now.
That's it, man. It all adds up.
Well, this is one of my biggest goals, doing the YouTube, and it's leaving kind of something for my grandchildren, my children.
That's awesome.
And I didn't realize that. And I didn't realize that till my granddaughter pointed that out to me. And that's what she said, Nana, this is something I'm going to always have for you, that someday you're not going to be here. I mean, that just broke my heart. I'm like, yeah, wow. You know,
to think about.
When you think about it.
I mean, that's why, you know, partly, you know, doing it for my son, you know, just like kind of, you know, as much as I'm trying to game the algorithm and create content to help others, you know, something to, you know, memorialize what I've been doing at the time, you know? So.
Yeah. So, yep.
There you go.
Well, we appreciate it, Nana.
No, I appreciate you both. You both rock.
I dropped a link to her channel. If you guys haven't subbed to her, again, please go check out her channel. She's a great resource, especially if you love, you know, glassware and ephemera.
All the good stuff. Yep. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Well, we thank you for coming in, and make sure you are subscribed to her. Make sure that you're getting on there and get some knowledge. because she has plenty to offer for sure.
I'm going to need those hours. That's all right. I got a lot of people written down in my book that I gave a lot of hours to, and I'll be hitting them up when the time comes. So I'm good.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. That's for sure.
No, I'm not going far. I'll be out of here, but I'm going to go into the chat.
We're going to go ahead and get to our next guest.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate you.
All right, guys. So we got another guest. Now, this guest hasn't been as long with us as Nana because she was there in the beginning. But I can tell you this, you probably know this person all too well because, man, he is in every chat. I think he's got one of those surveillance rooms at home, and he's just in there typing like crazy in all these chats and very supportive, man. He helped me in my big 8-hour challenge listing, and he's a friend of the community and friend to our channels. So we're going to welcome in. I always call him Louis, even though his name is Luis. Lewis, but the Lone Star Picker is coming in the house. So glad to have you, Louis.
There he is.
Thank you for that
Thanks
introduction.
for coming on in.
Not at all. Appreciate it. Well,
You straight?
yeah, I'm good. Can you?
Yeah, we got you.
I got this little funky little Apple cord here.
Yeah.
It works, man. It's serving its purpose.
It's coming through. Yeah, it's coming through.
Sam, how old is Ezra?
He just turned 2 months today, man.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's wild.
It's wild.
So
Growing, it's crazy. So
it's kind of weird. I feel, it's like, it's just like you see him and it's like you want to know, and it's like, God, he's been posting all these wonderful pictures, and we're just, I think the whole community I saw everybody glow and light up like when Christina. It's like, this is like, wow. It's like, we're observing this, but then that's what we're doing here on YouTube. We're all here observing each other, learning, talking. It's like, hey, it's kind of.
Well, the thing is, I've said this in previous chats before. Entrepreneurship, if you're just starting, it's a very lonely path, and I think especially during COVID, right, when we all had to stay at home and we couldn't really get close to anybody, and I think having a community, I see everybody as coworkers, and and if depending on the work environment, right, like you're involved in your coworkers' life, kind of there, you're there with them most of the day, so it can be that outlet, that support, because your family might not understand what you're trying to do work-wise, right? So there's that camaraderie that comes with it. So,
and then there's the people that don't have families, or so much are not easily connected. So like, I watch my sisters and they're talking about little qualms, like, we're cooped up in this house. I said, and it's like my significant other, she's always on the road with her job, and it's like, so I don't see her a lot, and my daughter goes back and forth. So it's like, it's like, now I see why, you're spending so much time on YouTube, because you want to distract yourself from doing what you need to be doing. And it's like, and then you realize, oh, these people have a lot to say, and it's kind of supportive, and it's, it keeps you on target, and it's, there's a lot more to it than people can, really analyze.
But the other thing you think about with community is, I know for me, man, I can go to a estate sale or a thrift store or a yard sale and find something so cool that I'm just like jacked about. And then I show it to like people in my everyday life, and they're like, "Oh, that's cool."
Like that sounds like my daughter. My daughter, she'll still be on her text, and it's like, "That's nice, Dad." Like, don't you about it? She's like, I don't care.
Yeah. So if you show what you find to people in the community, they get jacked up for you, man. They're like, wow, that's amazing. Like, one of those things. Me and Sam were talking about earlier about his dumpster find again, if you watched his IG story today. But,
I was like, no, don't get the desk. Don't get the desk. And he's like, I got it.
I wasn't really, I don't even know why I even put a poll up there. So
the desk I'm talking to you guys on my laptop, it's like, find it. It's free. That's the thing about resellers is learn to be efficient and effective. Efficiency is all about it. And it's like efficiency in your business, your money, how you keep your household, how you keep your mindset, If you're not efficient there, you're not going to be a good reseller at all. And I'm like, don't even waste your time. But I mean, I'm not saying don't push it and, give yourself a chance to do it if you think you're interested in doing it. But if you, you come like 5-6 years and you're still selling like $5 items and stuff, it's like, do you really want to do this? It's like, my number one question is always, I wake up with gratitude, and it's like, are you happy with what you're doing? Do you really like what you're doing? And, it answers like, a lot of questions. It's, you can kind of go into it. It's like, yeah, I like working for myself. I don't like working for this and this and this and this,
So would you say that's kind of one of your 3 things that you learn from reselling? Self-awareness?
There's kind of a double fold on that, because I have a spiritual practice. I'm not a religious person, but I like to consider myself a spiritual person. I mean, I've gone through a lot of religious attitudes, and
for sure.
And I like to learn. So speaking of learning, it's like, what did I learn? I like to incorporate my life with what I really want to do. And if I'm going to be my own boss, I have to step it up. It's like I'm going to micromanage myself to the point where, like, you're really slacking this week. Look at your sales. Like, you haven't listed anything. You're not taking this serious. And so self-observation is for me is like a really key point to, when you see yourself criticizing somebody else, find out why you're not doing it, or whatever. Yeah. So there's so much to it. Yeah. It's something you just got to like really say, where am I at today? What is my goals? Well, okay, I know what my big goal is, but I have like mini aims. Not to get into statistics, but for me, every day, it's if I don't have 3 main aims. Okay. One is about my job, what I consider what I'm doing, reselling, and then what do I need to do just householding, efficient, just being efficient. Did I do the dishes? Did I go, oh crap, I got to do laundry, whatever. How are you going to get that in, incorporate what you need to do on top of,
hey,
like, what are your personal aims? What's that? What's that?
Hold on a second. I gotta go chase my daughter's dog. We're dog sitting.
Oh boy! I will hold down the fort, man. Good luck to you.
Sam will pound me with questions.
I got you, man.
Hey, we've been here before like this.
We have been here before, man.
We just need Krillin to jump in.
That's it. So I know you kind of mentioned, you talk about having gratitude, and so. How would you say some of your spiritual practice, and I know you've had corporate experience too, right? How has that influenced your reselling?
Okay, so there's been times where I've taken it for granted, and I really haven't utilized a lot of the business aspects of it. Probably more like when I was in New York, but at that time it was weird. I was already doing corporate at 40 to 5 to almost 50 hours a week, and that was
exhausting, man.
And at the time, I was like you. I just had my daughter, and this was New York, and she came just a little after 9/11.
You were in New York City, like Manhattan. Man,
yeah, I was right out. I was in a street that looked straight down to the Twin Towers. And it was, and I was like, it just that changed your perspective and everything.
Sure.
Okay, so how do I incorporate? At one point things got so stressful. I remember I was doing that. I was teaching 2 days a week, and was teaching kind of art for a community. It was my way of saying, how can I be do little philanthropy, and it's like give it back to the community. And on top of that, I was like doing eBay, and it's like, why am I doing this? I was like, that little cha-ching always helped keep the family diapers going or whatever, Yeah. Hard when you're starting a family, you get it.
I mean, that's the part of it, right? You start, out of necessity, start becoming resourceful. For us, it's like with the baby, wheeling, dealing cloth diapers. We're saving money by not getting disposable diapers, and we're making money off of the diapers we are using now. So
exactly. You can kind of go, how is this, effective? How is this efficient for me? But also, am I helping somebody else? Because I'm not going to use them. Let me pass that on to somebody else. And then, it's a win-win. I'm getting, something out of it.
Yeah. And speaking of which, and I don't know if Louis would share this as a something that he's learned. But his generosity, I haven't really talked about this yet because this happened the other day. Louis went out of his way and sent me this wonderful package for myself and Christina and the baby, and it was full of stuff. I literally think he just looked at a regional B box and just took on the challenge to see what he could stuff in there.
Like, I couldn't get it into an 8 box. I was like,
yeah.
It's like, I don't know,
Oh man, it was a miracle that the postal workers got it to the PO box. So there was a book that I read back in college, and one of my friends I wrote in. It was called Appreciation Marketing, and it just kind of touched upon the little things you're doing, and I know we've discussed in chats things like like Mary Kay building her business, and one of the core principles that she does, core practices, is writing a thank you card to everybody.
Yes,
and even though it's an MLM, all of her associates, the representatives or whatever they're called, they are encouraged to write a handwritten thank you note to all of their.
It's so important to express gratitude, because once you don't do that, now let's just talk strictly as a reseller. I've seen deals go bad, and I'm from high corporate to like I've seen a meeting room shut down quick. Like the guy would get up, and it's like, and they're like, well, where are you going? He's like, this isn't going to work for me. And I knew. Yeah. And then they would ask, I was the small guy in the back taking notes, and they're like, well, did anybody pick up on what happened? I'm like, yeah, you weren't listening to him. Somebody doesn't feel, a bit of gratitude, and like, just listen, simply just listen. I'm talking, how can you use effective listening? So in reselling, when you're at a flea market, and, that's one of my things that I started with. I grew up, I was probably like 9, 10, maybe 11 or 12. I don't remember. I was really young. My best friend, David Nunes, was like, you want to get a job? And why? He's like, I don't want it. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, what are you doing? He's like, I work at a flea market. And he got me this job, introduced me to this guy and his father. And that was the only time they had together. It was their connection. His dad came from, the son came from San Francisco, and the dad lived in my city. And so I took the job on, and it's like, how do you, migrate those two things? And it's like, you learn quickly and effectively. If you don't show gratitude, hi, how you doing? This and that, acknowledge the people. This and that. Whether it's whatever platform you're on, if you don't write thank you notes, you don't have to. But I tell you what, when your rating's up, I've seen people go, I came to you because you had only 100, feedback. That guy at 10,000 did it. He's not listening to his people because you see all the negativity.
Yeah. And especially, nowadays, tying it back to kind of the community and what we do here on YouTube, right? Like you see so much negativity on TV. And one of the things that like I did when I practiced, I really avoided one of the exercises I made my doctors that I would train do was actually avoid talking about negative stuff. Because somatosensory wise, basically the way that your nerves and your brain interprets pain, if I already set you into a negative space and I keep ruminating on that and pontificating on it, I'm just exacerbating your inflammatory response, whether you know it or not, and I'm actually working against myself.
Yeah.
And I
was on a live and I caught myself wanting something like, why did you say that? Snarky cynicism
sure yeah
equates as negativity,
right?
So it's subject to your interpretation, this and that. It's like, but there's so much stuff that can come out of this mouth, and it's like, okay, once you get to know somebody's personality, you're like, maybe they're okay, maybe. And so it's like, and that's the interesting thing about here is I've learned I don't take anything personal. I read things and I'm like, do they really mean that? And then there's some things you read and you're gonna go, that's them, and then I move on. It's like, I wouldn't say it like that, but and then again, it's like, yeah, you said something like that probably last week and stuck your foot in the mouth. But it's like, that's what really, what it comes down to is like, me as a reseller, I ask myself, what do you have today? What's the one thing new you can learn? New.
Yeah.
And if you have something you think you don't know shit. So you don't know because it's like where in your life and stage can you gain that insight, because there's always somebody one step ahead. And I had to learn for a long time. I had like as a reseller, I was like, I didn't have the confidence. And my daughter's mom would like go, will you get off your butt? You know more about this subject. And, like Nana Tink was like saying, she's like, I call her by her handle name, but it's like, she was talking about ephemera. And I'm like, I get what she's talking about because I've handled ephemera. But can I go beyond those and want to learn more? Aspects of ephemera. I have niches with the niches, and it's like, but I love to learn. It's like I've always been a library person. I've sit there for hours and just dig through books. It's like, oh, and once you have that insight, it's like Michel Foucault, the philosopher, said, he has that knowledge, really the sense of power. What does that mean? Well, he who has that power has that knowledge. It's like you can go so far. And you share that with other people, then you get it back tenfold.
Yeah, that most definitely, man. And talk about, and as far as investment, right? We talk about all this stuff in terms of investment. Forget about like spiritual stuff like karma, like the ROI on that stuff, right? Just being good and what it gets back, and not really like, when I invest in stock, like I have an expectation it'll go up, but it doesn't always like work out, So like putting yourself out there, like as far as like, being good and offering, gratitude, some people are going to take advantage of that, but few and far between, right? Like I'm going to get scammed. I'm going to have people attempt to scam me. It's reselling, but that doesn't happen every day. It might be a headliner for YouTube content, but it doesn't happen all the time.
No. And it depends on like, how is, like I said, as a reseller, what is it you think So, okay, if what you don't know, what do you have to learn? And I try to I have this, it's not always the same, but lately and for a while, I call it my 3 C's. It's like being confident, being conservative, and being able to change, And it's like you were saying, it's like, well, somebody could take advantage of you. Yeah, but you go inside yourself, you get that confidence to go, okay, this is how I would like it to be handled.
Yeah.
And then you go in, you go, I'm going to be conservative here because I know this is going to go down wrong. They're going to screw me. You don't have to put it in the negative terms, but I don't need to be taken advantage of, And then after that, you go, okay, now I have to let go at one point, and like what is going to happen is going to change. Change is inevitable, and sometimes change is out of our control. So, you can look at it, like you said, strictly business. To me, it's all part of the spiritual path. It's like, if you just take it one step at a time, take it easy, and don't take it all like as a heavy burden, you can move far and kind of go, I'm ready for tomorrow, whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's why I subscribe to the philosophy of Kaizen. I love myself today, but tomorrow I'm going to do better,
Very good. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. That's awesome. What were you going to say, Eric?
I think as well too. Like, what I was going to say is, I think it's important to. I've always done the devil's advocate thing, like, and look at it from the opposite side. Like, okay, so like if you think of yourself as a seller of things, and then you think of yourself as a consumer, so like me, how do I like to be treated as a consumer? I like efficient service. Right. I like people that are appreciative, that have spent money. So, I mean, I try to flip that around. And as a reseller, I try to provide things that I like to experience. As a YouTube creator, I try to provide things that I like to experience as well. So, for me, that's kind of part of it. And then, obviously everybody has their own.
I think it's a lot
One
of
the things I did want to watch
others, see that. Like when they're not doing it, and I don't mean that in a negative sense. I'm just like, I like to observe, but I'm working on observing myself first and foremost. But when I like to observe other people, and I'm like, oh, I'm not doing it like that, and it's like, it's not that you're picking on this, you're like slamming them. It's like, I don't see how that's effective. And sometimes, that's too opinionative. It's like, you can learn.
I think you can learn from people in a lot of ways, right? You can learn from people that are doing it right, and you can learn from people that are doing it wrong, or they may just be doing it different, and there's a distinguishing.
I like that approach too. Is that we all have
there's some things that people do a certain way.
Well, that's just it. You have to know you know your boundaries, your limits, but you got to be confident at one point. Like, I know a lot. It's okay. I mean, I know everything. What I don't know, I'm going to read Eric. Hey, Eric, what about Sam? Do you think that's bogus? And it's like,
yep.
Well, like, and like Cal was highlighting, right? Like we all come to the table with different strengths and stuff like that. And so we don't know, we're all just meeting each other in this space now, but you have no idea what life path that we've each individually walked and what strengths and weaknesses we bring to the table. Yeah. And, and part of the things, even when I taught, you would have instructors that are bad and that were good, what's bad and what's good. For me, it's being a person and finding out what your boundaries are, right? And learning what to do and what not to do is also important. So,
yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's great. That's a great suggestion. I won't say advice, but everybody doesn't like advice. It's a suggestion.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh, and you listen. And one of the best things a teacher taught me was, and I remember the resistance. When I was observing, I saw the budding was. He says, "I want you lazy asses to get off and not just do this project. Find somebody to do it with." Of course, there was cliquey people, and then you'd see that stuff break up fast. And sometimes they were like, because of personality, it wouldn't work. But like the effective people found, hey, you want to work this out. And there were some challenging people like, I think I would like you. And the girl would be like, why me? Because I know you got this talent, you got this information, and I'm going to bring this to it. And let's boom. And they would like slam that out of the park, and they'd be like 100% on this project. Yeah. So when you know what you know, you can find, I think what makes this place exciting is like, I watched you two. And since you guys been doing this collaborative, like, hey, what can we bring to the table this week? What do we have to offer for the community? Then that's genuine. People sense, and they're like, wow, I want to know something. I want to learn. I want to oh, this is interesting. Or just, even if it's strictly pure entertainment, somebody's going to get something from it.
Right.
Whether it's on an emotional level or a body, mind, and spirit kind of, you know what I mean? It's like, they're going to take away something from it. And I think the more we see collaborations happen, and I think the more the community building is going to grow in terms of resellers. And I think YouTube is such a great platform for that. If it's done in a diplomatic and respectful way.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those. We talk a lot about how do we build on each week. How do we work on ourselves to extract the best information out of folks, whether it's making someone feel a little bit more comfortable. Behind there, because sometimes it's like, oh man, what are they going to ask me? It takes a little while for somebody to warm up.
I get a lot of that. People are like, what is Louis going to ask me? It's like, I'm just saying, hey guy.
Yeah. But, so I know, man. So I know we'll probably go like forever, and I guess where's next, man? What do you have planned on this journey?
A loaded question. It's like, I feel like I'm in corporate interview. Where are you going to be?
I'll hesitate to ask what your 5-year plan is.
5 year. Well, so
but where
it goes with like, with my things. It's like, what are my 3 things about learning? If change is inevitable, like look back at March. Amazon screwed a lot of people over. Excuse my language. Then screw them. Just like things changed, and I heard a lot of bitterness. And so like all of a sudden, I'm popping over to Mercari, eBay, and that's because they needed to do what they, So at one point or another, I want to learn some more platforms, but I do see myself. I don't know. I want to continue working for myself first and foremost. I mean, that's kind of simple, but that's not an easy thing to kind of cultivate, because if you're not always on target and aim and keeping those, in a certain fashion, we know time is linear. But experiences and what and what you gain along the way, there's a lot more to it. And it's like, so where do I want to be? It's like, I know I want to build the continuing relationships that I have, but I know I need to, and I want to is build really supreme, and maybe just 1 or 2 people, maybe more, but I want to build some more relationships. I mean, in my personal life, that I have a guy, and he's not doing well. I think he's going to pass away soon. And he's the guy who gives me all this stuff, It's like, so I'm always trying to go over there and like, what do you need from me? He's like, oh, you don't need nothing. I'm like, yeah, what do you want? Groceries? Do you need me to come over and change your catheter? Or what do you need? And it's like, woo, and that's when you put things in perspective. It's like, okay, if this doesn't work out, where am I next? So you always have to be on the ball as a reseller.
Yeah.
I do want to see myself, hopefully in a business partnership. What I mean by that, it could be, another person that's willing to go in a warehouse with me and we'll do this together, or I can just hire somebody that helps me. I want to up it and make sure my potential of full time is strong.
And
we got another guest waiting in the wings. So man, we do thank you. Sorry I had to run out with the dog. If you are not subscribed to Louie, make sure you go and hit that link, hit the bell. I know he's put out a little bit of content, but we're looking to see more in the future. And, if not, you definitely will see him. The thing I was going to compliment you on, Louie, is your Instagram game is on point, bro. Like it's always looking sharp. I'm like, man, how does he come up with all this stuff? Even the link for this thing tonight, when you put that down, I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta
man, we do appreciate you. Yeah, we appreciate you. We appreciate your support in us as well. And we're gonna go ahead and jump over and introduce the next guest. But guys, make sure that you show Louie some love and hit that subscribe button. And you can find him on IG as well. And man, we do thank you for coming on, and thank you for all your support.
You guys, thank you for.
So we're gonna let you go.
Later, brother.
We will
thank
see
you, man.
Around. Yes, man, for sure.
I don't know about you.
So guys, I know we're about halfway through. Yeah, we're about halfway through, but I wanted to take a minute. If you are just getting in the chat, man, there's a list of usually I keep a list of the people that pop in as we're going. And there is so many of y'all that honestly, I could take about 15 minutes and run through names, but I do thank you all for being here. One of the things we wanted to talk about tonight is I've started to do this. This is a new thing for us. We're going to start to try to do this every Friday night, every last Friday of the month. And
I was like, every Friday.
No, we're not doing that. It's a lot to coordinate. So it's been one of those things. But the last Friday of every month, we want to bring in people from our immediate community on board. We only do one live show a week, so we're not able to have as many guests as some of the other. But we do want to show love to you guys that have supported us along the way. And we want to bring you in and kind of highlight you for a few minutes. Anyway, if you have something, if you want to be a part of this in the future Fridays, as always, the theme of what we do as far as a reseller is we try to bring value back to the community and try to provide that for you as well. We're also trying to introduce people from outside our community to the community because, man, we see the value in each and every one of you guys and what y'all do in supporting us and what you bring to the table as far as reselling. And we'd love to take a few minutes and highlight that on our show. So if you want to be a part of this in the future, if you'll hit myself up or Sam on Instagram, we're going to try to line up somewhere between 4 and 6 people. We'll kind of see how the time plays out tonight and see if 6 is even doable. It's a lot. Probably 4 would be more likely, but we do want you guys to be a part. So speaking of someone who has a lot on their plate, this next guest for us is probably the hardest working lady on YouTube that I've seen. She actually left a live to come here and just finished one, and she jumped right into the next one. And that's probably her 3rd or 4th of the day because she's always busy. So Victoria is one of the first people that I saw in this community. This is one of the first shows that I came in and actually began to chat a little bit. So I'm thankful that she has agreed to be here with us tonight. And we just want to take a few minutes and highlight her as well. So Victoria, could you just, if people by some unknown reason don't know who you are or what you do, if you could just take a minute and highlight that would be great.
I am Victoria. My name of my channel is Adventures in Reselling. Hello, everybody, and hello, Eric and Sam. First off, I want to say thank you guys for having me on. I was excited when Sam asked me, and this is great.
Thank you for coming, Victoria.
Well, thank you. I do a morning show every morning from 7:30 to 8:30 on my channel. Now, it starts really early for some of you. It starts really early for me. It starts at 7:30 a.m. but it's my way of getting my butt up out of bed and, getting the day started and spending some time with friends. You know what? If it's going to be said, it will be said on my show. There is no telling what we're going to talk about. It's just really fun. That's right. So that's that. I have been having like mystery type guests come in and special things to do, at 8:00 on my show from 8 to 8:30, which is kind of a little bit of a new format, but I'm really digging it. I really like it. It's really cool. So, and then in the afternoons on Mondays, I'm on Derek's channel, NASCAR Man 3345, and I do an auction with him. On Fridays, I'm on my channel and I do an auction with Queen Cleopatra. In fact, we ended that and I came right over here.
Yes,
I'm like, I gotta go. I'm on in like 3 minutes. On Thursdays, me and Nana Tink do a show on her channel at night. And on Tuesdays, every third week, I do a bingo with Larry L. Crash and Johnny Kajun Roots Reseller. So yeah, I'm
goodness.
I'm exhausted just telling you what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So what are you laughing at?
I know I was looking today at the fact I'm like pushing on 100 videos. And I looked and you were like 200 and change. I was like, good Lord, she's on YouTube.
A lot, yeah.
I don't think
find their lives.
I don't think I've dropped 20 videos yet.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, I enjoy it. I really I love
it. We definitely appreciate the hustle. That's for sure. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit. I think I've never actually asked you what do you like to sell and where do you like to sell it?
Two things that I've tried to sell a little bit of everything on my YouTube. Or not YouTube. My eBay store. I have an eBay store and I like selling. I've tried DVDs. I've tried, CDs. I've tried a little bit of everything. Mm-hmm. So right now I've gotten rid of everything and I'm only focusing on ephemera on my eBay store. Old letters, old postcards is mainly what I'm focusing on. So that's what I'm doing with my eBay store is just ephemera. And then I still do clothes, but I hate sizing clothes. I don't so much mind taking pictures, although it takes a long time. Mm-hmm. I just hate putting the sizes. I hate measuring them. So in order for me to do clothes, I do it on my auctions. Mm-hmm. And that's how I'm selling the clothes is only because I love buying clothes. I just love buying clothes and I can't wear them all. So I'm going to, I buy them for that reason. And I try and sell them at prices that you could either resell them at or, something, that you could buy cheaply. So, so that's the main places I sell. I used to sell on Mercari and Poshmark. And I've actually been thinking about, since I'm doing ephemera, opening up an account with, what is that place called? Etsy. Etsy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing that and maybe doing some ephemera on Etsy. Mm-hmm. And I have blue jeans that I haven't really shown on my auctions. And I'm thinking about opening back up my Mercari store and doing blue jeans just on Mercari. Although I will have to measure them. So that kind of sucks. I still am kind of thinking about that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure. That's that. When you get into clothes, it's definitely a little different animal, for sure. I was like, I have honestly a stack of clothes. Anything with it's just mounds up, and occasionally I'll find something. I was like, I don't want to do any clothes, and I'll pick it up anyway. But
yep, exactly.
So it's one of those things. So what? So what are some things that maybe in your reselling journey that would be helpful for some of the people here, or maybe some things that you just are like, man, that was a kind of eye opener for me?
One is you really need to find, sell a little bit of everything to find what you really like to sell. Because I thought, I love buying clothes, it's not going to be that bad selling them. But you know what? Selling them is okay, but measuring those stinkers that's not for me. It takes too much of my time, and I'm too busy with other stuff to worry about that. So definitely sell enough of a variety that you can find out what exactly you want to sell, what you love to sell. I love to sell the ephemera because like the postcards, I love reading what people 100 years ago wrote to each other.
Yeah.
You know, I love that. It's like I'm privy to a piece of history that not everybody is, when I'm looking at it. So I just love that. What else? 3 things. Gosh. Oh, you even sent me the questions beforehand, and I was like, okay, I'm going to say, if you're really enjoying being with people like we all do, use your voice and use your this is kind of with reselling because we all talk about reselling. It's not necessarily on my reselling store, but I try and use my platform on eBay to help promote other sellers, to help spread ideas about how selling could be, just like you guys are doing. So use your voice on eBay, use your channel to help everybody. We are not competing against each other, you guys.
That's right.
We're not. We should be, if anything, we should be coming together and saying, hey, I noticed you had this listed at this. Did you really, do you know you could do this stuff and make it better? We should be helping each other, all of us, every one of us. And I love to surround I love to surround myself with people that think the same way I am. And I know you guys do too.
Yeah.
We're all in this together. I mean, I know that's cliche, but it's true in our aspect.
Yeah.
So, and then another thing is this isn't reselling related, but it is kind of because this is my job. So I love building the relationships that I have through YouTube with Eric, with Sam, with Nana, with with all of you guys. I'm just Larry and Kajun and all. I have found some very, very good, invaluable friendships. And I think that you hang out with people that, how is that? You hang out with the people that are either going to bring you up or that are going to bring you down.
Absolutely.
So very, very carefully find your friends. Trust everybody until they don't give you, until they give you a reason not to. Keep those friends that are helping you. Keep those friends that are pushing you and building you up and helping you along the way. So I think that's the 3 things. And I know it's not all selling related, but it kind of is in the long run.
But you talk about like connections though, like I posted about that, a Rumi quote, are you, who are the 5 people that are around you? Are they, putting out your flames? Are they, are they fanning the flames and building up your fire inside you?
Exactly.
And I think that's important. I think that's great tips because then it lends itself to other connections down the road, like I know for myself, like I've made plenty of great friends. Eric is one primary example of the relationships that I've been able to build. But then, other things like Joe's Deals. He's a local guy by me. Man, talk about he finds stuff all the time. And I am lucky enough that, especially now with the baby, that he hits me up like, hey, dude, did you see this on Facebook? Did you see this? Did you see this? And man, I am so grateful that he even does that for me because, most folks wouldn't. They would kind of keep that under wraps. He's like, hey man, let me show you my favorite thrift store. It's my honey hole. Like what?
So, that's great. And that's what you want. You want people like that are going to encourage you.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that you look at.
Go ahead, Eric. Sorry. I think I'm on a lag.
Eric's a little delayed.
There is a lag. I was trying to catch it. It's weird because I can hear myself in the living room, like playing on the big TV, and I'm a little behind, but like normal. But no, I do think like exactly what you guys are saying. There's people that I would not even have a clue who they are. I mean, me and Sam talk all the time, and he's in Illinois, and like we probably would never meet in life, but because of reselling, because of YouTube, we've developed a friendship to where, we do push each other in certain areas. We do encourage each other in certain areas. And like we're having a live stream like this where we're trying to give back to the community. We're trying to provide value. We're trying to encourage others. And hopefully our thing that we talk about all the time with this show is, can we bring value to our friends? Essentially, can we bring value to the people who trust us enough to watch us and listen to what we have to say? And I don't want to lead them astray. I don't want to lead them down the wrong path. I want to be open and honest with them, but I also want to encourage them. Hey, there's things that you can do to help grow your business, to help grow your YouTube, whatever it may be. And, that's one of the things I've noticed with you in your channel in the mornings is, man, you are, just like you said, you trust everybody until you give you a reason not to. And and you do try to push people in the right direction, at least. So
I hear her. I definitely hear her. It's like, Larry, did you post something today? What are you doing right now? It's so funny. It's like, sorry, Larry, for calling you out, man. I don't know. It's probably one of, but it, and I know it comes from a very good place, though, and some of us, we need, like, I know they say don't kick a man when they're down, but sometimes if you don't kick them, when are they supposed to get up? Like,
yeah.
Speaking of posting stuff,
yeah,
I even forgot about this. I created a Facebook group called the Listing Challenge, and I actually need to take part in this, but there are so many people. I do. I really, really do. But there's so many people that post every day. They post 5 or 6 or whatever postings that they've done. And a lot of people have said to me that group has helped them list more. And you know what? It's us supporting each other. And it all boils down to us supporting each other, because if we don't, we know that we need to list. So we're going to list so that we can put it on the Listing Challenge group. This is just my thinking. So, it helps us because people are going to go in and look, you might make a sale here and there, but you're going to get it done, And I have been the worst part. The worst person on there is me, because I keep forgetting to post. So I keep forgetting to list, so.
I hear you. And that's the thing, is keeping each other accountable, but also being careful you don't get stuck in this, this bubble, where we're like, we're slacking off today and we're all kind of like allowing it, and not helping each other be accountable. Almost too kind and generous sometimes. But before I forget, I know Gina had asked you about your thoughts on selling vintage items on Mercari. It was like way back when.
I didn't know you could. Yeah. You can sell vintage on Mercari?
Yes.
Oh, well, maybe I'll put some of my postcards on there too, in my old letters.
Definitely try, because I've sold some vintage Band-Aid tins and stuff like that. Like I picked up a bunch of like old like tins that and spice tins that I saw in the estate sale for like 50 cents a piece, and I was able to flip them for like $15-20, surprisingly enough. Yeah,
I'll try that too then. Thank you, Gina. I did not realize that you could do that, because when I was selling on there before, I never saw that, but I wasn't really selling ephemera at that time. But there was something else I was going to tell you guys. I don't remember what it was. Me and my words get messed up, and my brain is like, okay,
I gotcha.
Forget it. If I think of it, I'll tell you. Something about
so we're kind of your plans going forward.
Oh, my plans going forward. I'm going to keep on doing what I've been doing. I know what I was going to tell you. Let me tell it before I forget it. Am I the only one? Uh-oh. Am I here?
You're here. I hear you.
Yep, okay. I thought you guys were frozen, and I'm like, oh, crap, I'm cycling.
Nope.
All right, let me tell you this before I forget it.
You thought it was replays of the morning show.
I thought it was cycling. Let me tell you this before I forget it. It's oh crap. What was I gonna tell you? Dadgummit. Okay, I can't remember again. Dadgummit. Okay, whatever. What did you ask me, Eric? Now I can't even remember.
I was just talking about what are you thinking about for future plans? Like
oh yeah,
as far as
plans.
reselling YouTube.
There we go. Got it now. I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep on, if I have another idea for a show, I might do that. Kind of tweaking my shows a little bit as far as YouTube goes. As far as my eBay, I'm going to keep on. I've got like 800 postcards that I have to list. So I'm going to get those listed. And then I've got 250 old documents coming, I think, or 200. I bought 400 documents with another reseller, and we're dividing them. So I have 200 documents coming that I need to list. So yeah, it's I got a lot of stuff coming. So in the next 6 months, I'm hoping to finish that. That's going to be a lot of work. So Squirrel, yes, that should be my nickname. But I don't collect postcards necessarily, but I mean, I guess I kind of do, Harry. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you before I forget it. Okay. One other tip is you have to take time for yourself, get away from your YouTube, get away from your reselling, and go and have a day or two by yourself. I do that every Saturday and Sunday. That's my time and my husband's when he's home. And sometimes I'll watch a show on YouTube. Sometimes I won't, whatever. But for the most part, those are I don't even come into my YouTube room if I don't have to.
100%,
so take time for yourself. Otherwise, you're going to burn out. You're going to get tired of it, and you're going to quit. Yeah. So, I'm so glad I remembered that. Third time's a charm.
I think people forget about we talked about happiness way earlier with Trish, and I think that's a thing, like what you're allocating your time to, your professional life, you're meeting your financial needs. That satisfies one category, but the same way I've had to basically turn off YouTube and internet like after 6 o'clock because I don't really catch the meals at the same time with Christina anymore, and that's like my time. And same thing with with the baby. I do all this. I work for myself so that I can be a part of that, Yeah, well, there will be days where I'll miss stuff, but I don't want to miss it all. So taking that time for family and yourself is definitely very important. So,
and when you told me you had block scheduling going, that I tried that and it didn't really work for me. My scheduling worked better when I had like 8 o'clock, this is what I'm going to do. 9 o'clock, this is what I'm going to do, which I guess is kind of a mini block scheduling, but that is perfect. You get everything you want to do done so that when it's your free time, you don't think, oh crap, I never got that done. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's really good.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I'd watched Cincinnati Picker and he was talking about how he just basically Monday through Friday, 9 to 5s it. And I was like, man, it's kind of wild. I mean, because you work for yourself, but then you think about it. He said, outside of that, I don't spend time on it. So that's kind of interesting. But I know for all of us, like I've seen just with myself, after doing 30 days straight of doing that challenge a while back of listing and posting, like trying to get rid of my death pile, putting a video out every day. After that, I kind of was like, oh, I got to pump the brakes because this is a lot. But, there's a lot of people that do put it out. Like Jeremy actually said right here, YouTube is a beast that will consume your life in more ways than one, putting out content and also consuming content, right?
Yes.
We see that a lot. So I know with yourself in the schedule you have, I've said it about you a few times where I'm like, man, how in the world does she keep up with it all? Because like when you came in and gave your schedule like that, but now I know if you're putting it in as a schedule, I mean, that's it. And taking that time for yourself is huge.
Yeah. Right. So, it is. It's huge for all of you guys,
Guys, if you're not subscribed.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. It's that lag.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the lag is killing me. So if you are not subscribed to Victoria, like I've said about everybody in here, check and make sure it's not red when you go over there because YouTube occasionally will drop us out of each other's. I know I've been unsubscribed from people that I knew for a fact that I was subscribed to. And make sure you hit that bell that says all notifications so you're not missing stuff.
Yeah.
And, squeeze it in your schedule some kind of way. But you at least know when someone drops. And Victoria, we appreciate you and our community. Kick everybody off the internet on OBX. Yeah, that is true. Because when we have tourists here like we have right now, the bandwidth at night goes to nothing. They suck it all up.
Yeah.
But we definitely appreciate you, Victoria, for all that you do for the community. And we just wanted to bring you in and show you some support as well. And if we can ever do anything for you, let us know. We're here.
Well, I want both of you to come on really early in the morning one morning to be my special
I'm
guest.
honestly up. You got to give me until like 7 when you start bringing people on, because when you're going on, I'm basically taking Ezra to the bathroom. So
are you in Central?
Yeah.
I'm Central. I'm Central.
Oh,
so,
okay. Yeah. What are you, Eric?
He's Eastern.
I'm Eastern.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just,
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll reach out to both of you. I'll
All right.
snag you.
All right. I'll wake him up for it.
Yeah.
And anybody else that wants to come on as a special guest at 8 a.m. Eastern on my channel, on my morning shows, reach out to me. It's Adventures in Reselling Victoria at gmail.com. Yeah, it's a long email address. Sorry.
And here is her link to her channel one more time. So thank you so much, Victoria. You rock.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thanks for coming in.
Bye.
Bye.
You're welcome.
Well, guys, once again, just taking a few minutes. Go ahead.
No,
My
go
lag
ahead.
is terrible.
You're good, man.
So what I was just gonna say, all you guys that have dropped in, I know I haven't gone through the typical hello, thanks for being here. There is a ton of y'all that are here. We do appreciate each and every one of you for coming in and being a part of this. This has been so far a great thing. It's nice to bring everybody together. It's almost like a little family reunion going on tonight, and we get to spend time with people that we see on the daily basis, but actually more in a face-to-face conversation. This next guest we're bringing on is someone that I know myself and Sam have both been a part of his show. I will tell you, he was one of my first subscribers when I started putting out content on YouTube, and I think he was probably one of my early shout-outs as well, to get people to go on my channel. And so we're going to welcome Johnny in, Mr. Kajun Roots Reseller.
Hello.
So, thank you for coming on.
Here's Johnny.
And let me be one of the first to congratulate you on 500. I know I'm not like the first. That happened on Victoria's channel, but but that's awesome, man. Good for you. I know you've been working hard at it.
It's been a good trail of mixed up and downs, but it's well worth it.
Good.
For sure. So for those of you that aren't familiar with you, Johnny, could you give everybody just a update on what you sell, where you sell, like what you got going on?
Okay, I'm originally from Louisiana, but I live in Massachusetts. I just moved here a year ago in June. And last month, on the 24th, made a year that I've been selling on my platform on eBay. And as of this month, this just made my 8th month doing YouTube videos. As of this past Wednesday, I put up a total of 96 videos total.
Wow.
I enjoyed each and every one of them and learning from my experience from the beginning. I take everything with a grain of salt, and all the comments I get, I take and implement them into my videos. I'm always looking for good comments, good or bad, and I take and go with it, learn from it. For me, my main platform is eBay, but just this last month and this month, I've been venturing off to Macari.
Yeah.
I just started on Etsy, where I put a lot of my quilts on. I'm still building that up. I make a lot of homemade quilts in different sizes and different themes, and only make one quilt the one time. I never duplicate the same quilt. And so those are starting to go on eBay, on my Etsy account. And I just started that this week, actually this Saturday.
Wow.
And I also started with Bonanza. What I like about Bonanza is you basically can pull and export your accounts to different accounts. But I basically just pull right now from eBay. So anything I have on eBay is going to be on Bonanza. What I like about that so far is that if I sell anything on either platform, it automatically takes off the opposite platform.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I'm still building up Macari and Etsy.
Awesome.
That's great. So I know that you do a lot of how-to videos, and a lot of people with that kind of stuff. What are some things that you would say that you've learned along the way, just in the reselling journey? Like if you could pick a top 3.
My top 3 is first, always be consistent, whether it's listing, making sure you have great pictures, always be upfront with your customers. I look at it this way. If you're going to send out something from your store to a customer, treat it as if it's something that you bought, how you want it to come to you. I do that with each and every one of my items that I sell, whether it's small or large. I always say in all my emails and all my messages and my videos, I'm always blessed at what I do get on my sale. So you always got to think of it as it's something that you started the day without, but you have something good to end the day with. And I've always learned when you're shopping for what you want to turn and flip for your eBay store or whatever platform you may sell on, always remember the best thing is to buy small or low to be able to profit high. Don't go for the big stuff if you're not going to be sure that it's a sale. But again, you have to learn what is best for you, and don't do something that you don't think you're comfortable with doing. For me, lately, I've been trying different things because I sell a little bit of everything. I don't have any set thing that I just focus on, but I always do try to venture out and learn. I do watch a lot of YouTube channels. I watch for those that are doing mistakes, what they're making mistakes about, so that I don't make that same mistake.
Sure.
Biggest thing is always make sure if you're doing free shipping, make sure you're covering that somehow on your cost, because it's going to bite your profit and it's going to cut your profit in half.
Sure.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. So Danica put in the chat that you're also a moon pie dealer. Is that true?
That actually started. I'm known as the moon pie king because we started doing the bingo, Victoria, myself, and Larry. We rotate our channels each week. So every third week, it's always on my channel. And one of the giveaways that I have, and if you win bingo, it's free to play, but you get a free prize. And so that free prize, 9 times out of 10, will be a box of moon pies. And the reason I did that is because when I chose my name for Kajun Roots Reseller, Robert, my husband, actually helped me pick that name. Because I was trying to figure out something that's unique, different, but catchy. Sure. And of course, I'm from Louisiana, so I am a Cajun, but instead of spelling it with a C, I went with a K. And so because of that, in New Orleans, when you're on a float from Mardi Gras, because I was in a carnival club, one of the signature floats is that you throw off the float is a moon pie.
Yeah.
And you buy them by the case because people are crazy screaming for moon pies. And so that's why I brought that to my bingo winnings. And so now everything that I do, even with my giveaways, at first I was going to do just a certain giveaway with like a license plate, a keychain. And I said, why don't I just throw a box of moon pies in? So that's where I'm known for the moon pies.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yes, I get them in banana, vanilla, or chocolate. And I haven't seen the strawberries, but they do make them in strawberry.
That sounds good.
I saw some in the convenience store today, and I was like, man, moon pies have shrunk since I was a kid. Like they used
They
to be
do
like
have them in different
big,
sizes.
like,
If you buy those small boxes, you usually get about 6 in those. Those are small. But they have the single layer, double layer, and triple layer. So the bigger the box, the bigger the moon pies are going to be able to get less in the box.
Yeah. And I know you like cooking too, because Jennifer Hayes just dropped your cooking channel too.
And the reason I started the cooking channel is I didn't want it to be on the same channel that I do my YouTube with eBay and what I'm selling. So I went ahead and created a second show, and that's also called Kajun Root Cooking Show. And with that, I every time I'm in the chat, because I know Victoria used to have a show in the evenings where she would have a guest on every day. She was doing that with Jenny. And so usually at that time, I was cooking or getting ready for dinner when Robert would come home from work. And so at that time, I'm usually done out of my eBay room between 1 and 2 o'clock. And so that's when I actually started doing cooking. for dinner. And so everybody said, why don't you just start doing a cooking show? Why don't you do a cooking video? And that's how that was born.
There you go. Nice.
I do a lot of Cajun cooking, and I go over the recipes step by step. I make sure everything's measured. Usually I don't measure because I know what I got to put in it.
Yeah.
But usually with the videos, I do sit there and measure everything just so I can have it for when I'm doing the video.
Yeah. Are you more of like the eyeball and like pinch of this, dash of that type of guy?
I have, because when I was younger at the age of 7, I used to start cooking with my grandmother.
Sure, yeah.
At the age of 7. And so I basically learned how to do that, even when it was a sous chef in one of the local restaurants in New Orleans.
Sure.
And so you kind of learn how to do that. But, and again, like I always say in all my videos, you can always add more to the end, but if you add too much at the beginning, you can never take it out.
That's it. Looks like you're getting a crowd at New Orleans meetup, man. We can just go straight to Frenchman Street.
That's right.
That's crazy.
That's it, Tim. Cooking is all feeling, man.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So, I lived in Louisiana for a minute, only about a year. I have an aunt who married a Cajun boy from Baton Rouge. But so, man, I can tell you that you will not go hungry in Louisiana. No. There is no doubt. You might eat a ton of beans and rice, but you will not go hungry.
And that's one thing about cooking. It's more like an art on a plate.
That's right.
When you're cooking it, you want it to be presentable, regardless of who you're cooking it for.
Yeah.
But again, I take pride in everything I cook.
Yeah. Well, especially down there too. With New Orleans, it was such a mishmash of cultures at the time. So, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Danica, I get a lot of my meats from meat market in the New Orleans area.
So, have you ever cooked gator?
Oh God, yes. Love it.
Gator tail.
And if you can find some gator sausage, oh my God.
Yes.
Awesome.
It's a little gamey for me. It's a little gamey. I'm not gonna lie. But
when they do gator sausage, they mix it with shrimp.
Yeah. Oh, that's why it's like fishy-ish. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that really makes a good flavor.
I always tell you. Yeah, I've only had gator fried. I've not had the sausage.
Oh yeah.
Good.
And it's just like any seafood. You can't over fry it because it'll get rubbery. Just like any seafood.
Yeah.
For
sure. Barbecue is for sure. So if you guys ain't hungry yet.
I didn't mean for it to turn that way.
Yeah. So I know you guys just moved to Massachusetts and all that stuff. Like, if you guys have never seen Johnny's room, like where he keeps everything, it's probably one of the more organized. He was like, I remember the first time I found Johnny was watching his soy pod video. I was like, where was this death pile? Where is it? I see nothing. Everything is organized nicely.
Yeah. And I've been like that from day one. I've always been organized. I've always been like that, even when I was in the military. When I got out of the military, I still fold my laundry certain ways just to get more room and maximize my space. I organize with, like right now, I've been buying a lot of awesome stuff. And I guarantee you, I can go straight to that box and tell you where it's at and what's in it.
That's awesome.
Because I even take an invoice and leave it in that box until I'm ready to list it.
Yeah. So I asked Colton this back when we had him on if any of his military experience lent itself over to reselling. He was a definite no. So I'm going to ask you. You've kind of touched on it a little bit. Like, what are some things that you kind of picked up that has really helped you besides the organizing and being? Sounds like you're very systematical about what you do.
I am, and what I've learned is from day one. When I started this, I've been in my business for myself since 2005, but I actually started full business in 2006. So I've always been working for myself. And that's the biggest thing I like about this is that I'm making my own hours. I work for myself. I have to not answer to no one when it comes to that. But the biggest thing I've learned is be quick at customer support. When I get emails from a customer, good or bad, I will answer them immediately. Like this last week, I had one customer that kept texting me, sending me messages over and over and over about the same product that I thought originally was for a person, which kind of found out was for his cat. And so I kept answering it as properly as I could. until yesterday. He tried threatening me that he was going to send me an open case with not as described. I got on the phone with eBay, and sure enough, they told me I am correct. I have nothing else to do. I'll leave it go. You did what you had to do. So don't be afraid to call eBay if you have a problem with something, because of the fact they are there to help you, including PayPal. I've had no problems getting in touch with them. Granted, you might have to wait on the phone, or you can put yourself on a placement, but they will call you back, whether it's a 15-minute hold or whatever. And I guarantee you they will call you back because they have for me.
Yeah, I know Eric talks about this too, that you can also reach out to them on Facebook.
Yes.
And they're pretty easy to reach on
I've done that before, and it has worked. But with this one, I wanted to make sure I didn't do anything wrong. And because I'm a top-rated seller, I want to keep it that way. You know, I always make sure you reach out to your customers immediately. Now, I'm sorry, but it comes 7 o'clock. Usually, I'm going upstairs to bed by 7:30. I do not bring my phones with me, but if I'm upstairs and I hear my phone go to ting, I'm not going downstairs just to see what it was. But at first, when I first started, I did. And so, to me, I think it's a great way to wake up in the morning knowing I have something sold. And I look at it in the morning, and next thing I got 2 or 3 more items I sold after that. So the best thing to do is make sure you set yourself a time to finish something for the day. And don't overwork yourself. Because like I always say in my videos, I have it in one of my intros. Every day is a holiday and every meal is a banquet. So don't complete something because yesterday's already been finished and done with. It's in the past. Today is here and almost gone. And tomorrow has not begun yet.
That's right.
Yeah.
I like that.
So Louis had asked a question for you about using your advantage, your knowledge of Louisiana and stuff, market items or Kajun stuff. Have you ever done anything with that as far as reselling?
If I can find it. Now where I'm at, I don't find much of it, but there are some things that I have found and already listed and sold. So when I do bid those and I do list them, they do sell fast. Yeah.
People looking for partners in crimes.
Yeah.
Dude, if you have not seen, when I did my 8-hour listing challenge, just roll through it till you see Danica come on my show. You want to see something funny.
Yeah. I love Danica. And that's one thing I do with my shows on Saturday. Yeah, with Saturdays and Wednesday, Monday and Wednesday shows that I just started doing. Saturdays I do my live with Larry. And what I try to do with those is bring in, no matter how slow they're starting off, or if it's just a low amount of under 100 subs or 1,000 subs, I try to bring everybody on to where we can communicate with each other, let everybody know what they're doing, how they're doing, letting people find out about other YouTube channels, and basically it's a networking and collaboration with others.
Yeah.
Somebody else may have something that they can bring to the table, and it helps those that are just starting out. So like tomorrow I will have I'm having a brain freeze. Oh my God. The couple that is going to be tray
flippers. Yeah, Brian. That's what I saw. Brian.
They're going to be on tomorrow. And they're just starting out as a young couple. And so I was very blessed to have them on my show tomorrow with me and Larry as our show tomorrow. And I've had a lot of great guests come on, new ones that's never really started off. And I try to watch a lot of different channels. And like in the morning when Victoria's on, I'm usually working because I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. And so when Robert gets up to go to work, I'm downstairs in eBay and I'm working. I'm listing, taking pictures. I have a routine. Like right now, I have pictures ready for tomorrow. I try to end my day with pictures to start the next day off with. And so that way I'm either listing on eBay, all the other platforms, or if it's not something that I want to put in any of the platforms, I'll get it set up and tagged for my antique booths.
Nice.
So it's always best to try to have different avenues to sell things on, because you never know what's going to sell where.
Right. Especially like now, with what we've seen unfold the last few months, your platforms could change the rules on you in a heartbeat. So
exactly. And the best thing to do is always be ready for anything that happens like that.
Yeah.
Jared asked the question about eBay taking phone calls. I had to actually send them a message to call me back. Is what happened with me. So I think there is a number. Kent just put one in the chat if you need it.
Yeah. But that's one thing I can say. very few and far between I had to call them, but when I have, they definitely took care of it immediately.
That's good.
During what we've got going on, I've actually had some negative feedback recently, and it's just bogus stuff, but like trying to get a hold of them. When COVID was all going on, I had one that I kept trying to reach out to somebody. I never got hold of somebody to really take care of it, but I have had 2 removed in the past. So one of those things, but I think if I just keep providing good service, like I'm pushing on the 500 good feedback. So I know that once I hit that, I think people will be okay.
One thing I've noticed.
The other tip.
One thing I've noticed with doing feedback, what helps is if you, and this is how I do it. Again, it may be best that I do it the way I do it, but everybody else may do it differently. I may even do it at all. What I do is once I ship out a package and I go to my orders of all things that's sold, I will look 1 week from today. And I will go back in and I will give feedback to every one of those who have not even did a feedback yet, because sometimes that'll trigger them to give a feedback. And so I do that every day when I come in the morning while I'm having my morning coffee. That's one of the routines I have in the morning, where I'll go in and I'll give everybody their feedback if I see it's been delivered. Won't touch it until it's been delivered a week later. And that's been working for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, somebody named Christina said your background looks awesome, Sam.
Sorry.
First, when you first came on, we thought you might have changed the background. Then I realized that back room has a different light, and you have the lights off in the back.
Yeah, I'm tweaking it. I'm trying to mess with it a little bit, because I just found a desk in the dumpster today.
Oh wow!
I was like looking for a desk, and I bought a new laptop the other day. So hopefully my video production will go up a little higher, because this laptop is I don't know. It starts coughing when I start rendering a video.
Oh wow!
I'm like, oh God, before we take you out to the pastures, let's just get a new computer first.
Yeah, that's it.
So
well,
yeah,
that's a good thing with the auto feedback too, but I don't do that. I'd rather do it myself. I have set messages I sent to the buyers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. So what do you got planned for the future, Johnny? Like what's kind of you're looking forward as far as reselling, YouTube, the whole bit?
One of the things I'm wanting to better myself with is I always buy things at a low cost and have a high profit. I think what I'm going to do now that I've done my first year already, learning a lot of the different things that are selling and not selling, looking for better product that I know that would do better than what I've done in the past. I want to better myself to the point where I can just look at something. Now, granted, everywhere I go, I do look at my phone. I look for comps. I will never stop doing that, because I'm not ashamed to do it, whether it's a garage sale, an estate sale, or even in one of the stores that I'm RAing. I always have that phone out ready to go and check out comp. So don't be afraid to on comp. But that's one of my goals, is to make sure I'm able to start doing things that I can just look at and know if it's worth something for me dealing with.
Yeah. Me and Sam have had that conversation too about like how to scale up, how there's multiple ways to do it. And, one of the easiest things is just find better products. Like, find things that have higher profit margin to them, or maybe they're like myself, I'm right around $30. That's about where I'm at, average cost per item that I sell. I mean, not cost, but what they sell for. Right. And so if I could push that up to $35, $40, that's a raise doing the same amount of work, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of what I look at. So that's a great goal for sure.
Absolutely.
And for me, I'm noticing that when I'm watching other channels and you see things that are selling, now you need to remember that it may be selling in that area of what they're finding, but you may not ever be able to find those items. Yeah. So one of the videos I was watching, which I don't know if it's still in here, it's Colton, the Redneck Resell. They've been selling a lot of vintage underwear, and I have not been able to find any vintage underwear. So all of a sudden, I find some auction online that was doing it, and I wound up picking them up, and I listed them. And I'm amazed at what they were selling for.
Yeah,
I spent $5 a pack, and they're selling for $55 to $75 a pack of 8 underwear, Hanes underwear. I went ahead and listed them for $64.95 because that's most of the prices in between. And I was basing it on, is it free shipping or with shipping? And so the lower prices were definitely with plus shipping, where they had to pay it. So I went ahead and put with shipping and raised my price up. So we'll see how that goes. Amazing. What's selling?
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you would never even know, like unless you were involved in YouTube, that's an item that you'd walk past all day, every day.
Yeah, exactly. Turn $5 into 65. Yeah, I'll do that every day, all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then another thing is I picked up a PS2 game. Now in the auction, it said they said it wasn't tested. There was no power cord. I had Robert test it, and for $5, it's going for $89. The same one that I just bought a cord for under $10, and that way I put it with the item, and I can sell it for higher.
Yeah,
because it does work. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, and power cords for PS2s are cheap.
Yeah, they were. It came in, it's already been listed and packed.
Yeah,
I don't waste time on that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and so don't be afraid to try something new. If you see that somebody else is, try it. You never know what's going to work. Don't be afraid to do it.
Sure. For sure. And, like you mentioned about keeping up with the comps and pulling your phone, sometimes comps change, right? So, like, it's something that may have used to been worth a lot, may not be worth that much, or vice versa. Like, if you were using comps when all this stuff first hit with COVID, if you're using comps on video game systems, you're going to leave a lot of money on the table from if you're looking, 10, 15, 30 days ago versus Wii's went from selling for $35-$40 to $80 to $100.
Exactly.
Pretty much in about a week time span. So if you're walking by and say, hey, they're asking $8 for that, that's not enough meat on the bone for me. But it is because it's 10x.
Sure.
You might walk past it if you didn't know. So
exactly,
it's definitely one of those things.
Yeah.
Well, man, you guys have any other questions for Johnny before we?
So another thing I want to mention real quick too. I've had some items that people haven't paid for, and I've opened an open case for non-payment. And the minute it came off a non-payment, and I was able to relist it, it was going for more. And mind you, when I sold it, I sold it with an offer. And when I go to relist it, there was no offer. The minute I hit submit, it was already sold. And it was a higher price. So don't be afraid to do that too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you see some things, some tips. One of the great ones we got in on this show was, gosh, this has been a while now, but when Omar was here, East Coast Flipper, he was talking about listing multi-quantities. And after you sell one, start going up in the price. I was like, man, I said, that's something I'd never heard before, but I actually done that this week and it worked out. I'm making more money on that item.
I did the same thing on an item and it sold for more the second time. Yep.
Yeah, because people trust you. They see that you've already sold one or you've sold two or you sold three. So you're more of a trusted seller. So there's definitely things we can learn.
I like that concept.
Yeah. Yep. It's things we can learn no matter how new or old you are in the game. That's for sure.
That's right.
There's things to be learned.
And every day you gotta, if you don't learn something, something's wrong.
Yeah. Key. My thing is key, keep educating yourself.
And that's why when I did the how-to videos, I did 14 series on it. And when I first started, it was like, oh my God, what am I coming up with the next idea? And it all came to me just in the chats by somebody making comments about something in the chat. And it became a video. So that's how I did 14 series.
Nice, man.
Yeah. It was well worth it and educated because if I didn't know the answer to it, I researched to get that answer.
Nice.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt, for sure. Well, guys, Johnny, I think we're going to start winding this thing down, but we do appreciate you for being here. Thanks for all your support to our channels specifically, but also to the community as a whole. I know that you have supported a lot of us along the way, and we continue to encourage you in your own journey. I tell you right now, if it would be 500 in the chat that kept supporting me, I wouldn't have made it to where I am today. It's that adrenaline to keep going. That's it. Yep. That's it, man.
And
So we
share
appreciate
the interview with others. That's the big thing too, to keep them going as well too.
Yeah.
Because my first two watches in all one of my videos when I first put them was Nana Tink and Tink Tinsel Teal. Every video I put out at the beginning, they were the first two to comment on all my videos.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to give back. It's nice to be able to pay it forward, like Brian is saying. And you know, Joe said that YouTube is the best textbook about reselling. If you learn so much while you're watching it, we all do. So we're happy to provide that for you as well. So, Johnny, we appreciate you having on.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you,
some
Johnny.
boudin recipes. That's my favorite Cajun food is boudin.
All right. Yeah, so, I love boudin.
I'm gonna have to check some of that out on my end. But thank you for coming in.
Thank you for asking me to be on your show. That was
man. Of course.
Thank you. All right, y'all have a good night.
Yeah.
Good night, man.
Share the love.
All right. Thanks. There you go.
So,
well,
that was awesome, man. Basically, you know, hopefully that was something that was a little unique for you guys. Like Eric had said, you know, we have so many of our YouTube friends and people that we have met along the way that we want to highlight. And we really wanted to do this when we were talking about this early in the week. Something that we envisioned, right, was not so much, you know, we're trying to stay true to our core. And the one thing that I said to Eric is, how do we make it so this is not a sub for sub? I'm putting people on display so that they can pick up followers and really leading with our mantra of value and giving folks an opportunity to share value and lead with that. And for folks who are newer to YouTube, what I am envisioning it is inspiring y'all to want to create content that provides value. Not, you know, who cares what you bought and what you sold at the end of the day, right? What I want you guys to experience is putting out those helpful videos and getting that comment like, man, like I had no idea I could sell this and make money from it. And I watched your video and it helped me and I did that. And you can go to bed feeling great that you fed a family, you helped somebody out on their financial journey, whatever it was, but you helped somebody. And that's a thing that, you know, we're trying to motivate and inspire all y'all to do and hopefully pay it forward. And it goes beyond just a arbitrary number that a platform like YouTube puts in front of us. You know, it's about helping each other and paying it forward. And in this time where there's a lot of troubling things on TV and all that stuff, right? I really want us to lean on each other to help each other out. And maybe the folks that are coming in that are newer, that have no idea what a reseller community is, and they're finding us for the first time, they get infected with that sense of community and support that Eric and I have both felt, and all you guys who have felt it and talked about it, right? To continue to spread and share that. So that's my soapbox for the night. So I appreciate all you guys.
There you go. Well, guys, we do appreciate you coming in, and even though we are not doing sub for sub by any means, but we do want to encourage you guys to support the people that we brought on tonight. All those guys do provide value in their own way. They have different areas that they work in and know more about one thing or more than the other. But I know that those are for people that are willing to help. If you have questions about anything that they're doing or things that you've seen on their channel, I'm sure they'd be more than willing to help you out all that they can. And as for myself and Sam, we definitely feel the same way. We want to bring value to you guys as a community. We want to be able to share our experience along the way. As far as YouTube, you know, we both approach it a little differently. Sam is got the mad at it skill that I dream about having one day. And I'm working towards it. He's helping me along the way. And, you know, for me, I have more of a different style of doing things and trying to work through it and learn it as I go, like most of us in here. But we do appreciate all you guys being in. If you did enjoy this show, I do encourage you to drop a comment in. And if you would be willing or want to come on and be a part of this next month, last Friday of the month, we are going to open it out to you guys. The big encouragement, like we're saying, is come ready to bring some value. And I know I see a couple of y'all that have posted in the chat and said, I don't know what I could really bring to the table. I guarantee you there is something, and you may not even know what that is, because there's something that you're doing in your reselling journey or your YouTube journey that there's somebody else that may be going through the same thing. I know there are some guys that are just kind of starting out in reselling and YouTube. And if you remember back to you being that guy, I know myself, like me and Sam, we oftentimes will look for some smaller channels. Even though we're a small channel, we look for the guys that are like got 2 or 3 that are showing up to their live stream, and we'll message each other and say, hey, let's pop in, kind of encourage this guy along the way. Because I remember some of you guys doing that for me when I got started. So, and I know it's an encouragement. So we do open it up for you guys. We do thank you for being a part of this. And we thank you for your support, and we're going to continue to try to provide value. I do have a little bit of news break for next week. Next Friday night's show, I'm going to try to be coming to you live from the 127 if the internet cooperates in Tennessee. So we may have some special guests on. We'll see who's there and try to put that together. So, man, we do thank you guys for being here and being a part of this show tonight. And like I said, hit us up on IG. We'd love to talk to you. And if we can do anything to help you, feel free to do so. So thank you guys for coming in. Y'all have a good evening.
Peace.